plants, growth regulators or PGRs intrinsically control development. These regulators are chemical compounds and are also called plant hormones or phytochromes. PGRs include auxin, gibberellin, cytokinin, abscisic acid, and ethylene. They are divided into two groups: plant growth promoters and plant growth inhibitors. Plant growth promoters enhance growth activities like cell division, cell enlargement, flowering, fruiting, and seed formation. Auxin, gibberellin, and cytokinin act as plant growth promoters. Plant growth inhibitors respond to wounds and stress from biotic and/or abiotic factors by inhibiting growth. Abscission, the falling of leaves due to scars, and dormancy, or the quiet period of the plant during winter, are due to the action of plant growth inhibitors. Abscisic acid acts as a plant growth inhibitor, while ethylene can act both as a growth promoter and inhibitor. The discovery of PGRs was accidental. The discovery of auxin was initiated when Charles Darwin and his son Francis Darwin observed the coleoptile of canary grass exhibiting phototropism towards blue light. After several experiments, they found that the tip of the coleoptile is responsible for the bending of the full coleoptile. Later, F.W. Wendt discovered that a substance at the tip of the plant was responsible for its growth and called it auxin, which means to grow in Greek. But the chemical structure of auxin was identified when it was isolated from the urine of a patient by Kogel and Timan. The discovery of gibberellin is linked to E. Kurosawa, who observed abnormal tallness in rice seedlings struck by Bacane or foolish seedling disease. This disease is caused by the fungus Gibberella fujikuroi. Later, Yabuta and Sumiki isolated the substance secreted by the fungus and called it gibberellin. The discovery of cytokinin is linked to F. Scooge and his co-workers, who noticed that cells extracted from the internodal segment of the tobacco stem proliferated to callus. When the nutrient medium is supplemented with extracts of vascular tissues, yeast, and coconut milk, in addition to auxin. Later, it was Skoog and Miller who isolated and crystallized the substance that promoted cytokinesis in plant cells. It was then named kinetin. The discovery of abscisic acid dates back to the 1960s, when 3 independent researchers purified 3 different inhibitors of plant growth, namely inhibitor B, abscission 2, and dormin. Later, it was found that all 3 inhibitors were chemically identical and were called abscisic acid. The discovery of ethylene is credited to a scientist named Cousins, who observed the release of a volatile substance from ripened oranges. He also found that the volatile substance promoted ripening of other unripened oranges. Later, this volatile substance was identified as ethylene.